Good afternoon. Today we had our last teacher training for the year. Normally they're about 2 hours long, but today it went from 12:30 to 2 and then 2 until 4, and the subjects we discussed were hypermobility, and we did an emptiness yoga emptiness meditation, which was quite beautiful, and we gave out the certificates for the year, which was also quite beautiful. Unfortunately, some of the people that I plan to give certificates with who are normally very consistent weren't there today, but that usually happens. That's not the truth. Sitting here with you today, I would like to talk to you about the Yamas, but I'm only going to talk about one Yama, and then the next video I'll talk about the next one. The first Yama that I want to talk about is thou shalt not kill. This is very easy to do, killing. And we needn't actually kill someone to physically kill them. We can kill with words, we can kill with looks, we can kill with the way that we walk past somebody. There's many ways that human beings know to totally take somebody down. And it's not a good idea to do that. It doesn't help you and it doesn't help the person. I have a short fuse. It's getting better as I get older. I'm more mellow, as you might say, but that's just because I can see the result of my actions, and I do from time to time make a mistake. I usually can pull myself up on that. Not killing is not just about shooting somebody. In one of my classes, a student came to me at the end of the class and said, I just thought I'd let you know that I have killed somebody in my life. And I said, oh yes? Well, how did you feel about that? And this guy said to me, well, they deserve to be killed. I said, that's an interesting point of view. What makes you believe that? And he said, well, if I hadn't have killed them, somebody else would have. The person was a waste of space. So I said to my student, well, so you're now the judge and the jury. You are able to determine that. He said, oh yeah, I knew him well enough to do that. And I said, so here you are in a rehabilitation program. Before you joined the rehabilitation program, were you a model citizen? He said no. And I said, so nobody made the judgment and said that you weren't worth giving space to. You're a waste of space. Obviously nobody has taken you out because you're a waste of space. And he said no. I said, so right now you have the opportunity to change. You have taken away that other person's opportunity to change. You have decided that either they couldn't change or it was not a useful thing to try. And over the course of the next couple of years, my student and I kept up a rather wonderful conversation with regards to the Yamas. In particular, thou shalt not kill. But you can kill with a word. You know, my grandmother, when I was younger, I just loved my grandmother. And coming up to her birthday, I did a painting of a ballerina. I was about 6 at the time. And it took me a long time to do this painting of the ballerina. I started many times, it wasn't good enough, and I did it and I did it and I did it, and I finally ended up with one I really liked, good enough for her. And I gave it to her. She unwrapped it and she looked at it and she said, it's very nice in that kind of You know the way, you know what I mean. And then she said, of course, your cousin Pat has drawn ballerinas and they always look beautiful and airy and light and fluffy. And I took the ballerina back. And I never felt the same way about my grandmother after that. And obviously it hurt very deeply because I'm still carrying around the wound. Enough that I can tell you about it. And when I do a drawing that doesn't quite meet standards, I sort of say, oh well, Cousin Pat does much better than this. So yes, even though we might think that we're making any difference, we're making a profound difference. And I'm sure in bringing up my children, I often said things I shouldn't have. I remember once my daughter did this most lovely letter to me about how she loved me and how she liked the way I did this and liked the way I did that. And apparently she'd done this as some kind of a story at school. And I have to tell you, my response was shocking. You know, I'm still beating myself up about it. I corrected her spelling mistakes. There was a lot of them. I didn't see the beautiful. I only saw the spelling mistakes. And I'm sure I made... I'm in her mind often for that one, I'm sure. We don't talk about it. Maybe we should. But yeah, it's the first Yama, don't kill. You know, there's a story about these people in a camping ground, and they're glamping, as they call it nowadays, sitting there with their gin and tonics and in these fancy tents, and the sun is setting, and suddenly into the clearing runs this most magnificent lioness. And she stands there and she looks around it, and then she runs off to the left. And everybody breathes deeply again and chats about that. And then milliseconds later, a group of hunters, guns, the whole works, runs into the clearing and says to the people glamping, which way did the lion go? If you say she went to the left and they catch the lion and kill her, then you are complicit in that act. If you say she went to the right or straight ahead or whatever you say to protect her, then you have lied, which is also amongst the Yamas. It would be up to your conscience to decide which way would be the best way. Are you prepared to justify lying or killing? Maybe in this instance you might have known more about it than I have just disclosed. Maybe you knew that they wanted to put a band on her and those weren't rifles, they were sleeping dart guns or something. But whichever way, you are having to make these kind of decisions daily. And when you know that these are the commitments, not the commandments, the commitments that are attached to yoga, called the Yamas, Y-A-M-A-S. And we'll be doing the whole 5 of them, because unless you know the Yamas, you can't progress into anything else really. And my students know the Yamas quite well, because we do them monthly. I think you need them monthly to remind you. I need them monthly to remind me. Thou shalt not kill is the first one. I was on the train home from Melbourne not so long back, and there was a father sitting behind me, and he had his young daughter with him, and they were discussing the Yamas, and I thought, oh, goodness me, We need more of this on trains. We need more parents discussing the Yamas and the rights and wrongs of situations according to the commitments of the Yamas. That would be fantastic, to teach your children the Yamas from a very young age, so that they live the best life that they can. The more beautiful things you do, the more beautiful your life becomes. And if you know the rules, it's easy to walk on the road, isn't it? If you don't know the rules, you get knocked over. So I hope you have a lovely day. I will be back and I will talk to you about the next Yama, telling the truth. Thou shalt not lie, or don't lie, or however you want to express that, the negative of lying. How not to lie, or why we shouldn't lie. So namaste.